What's up, guys? It has been a minute, but I'm back and I want to talk about a really cool guitar that I recently picked up. This is a Gibson Les Paul Special SL, and today we're going to talk about why this is the best Gibson Les Paul for Telecaster players, so stick around. Now, growing up, I always wanted a Gibson Les Paul. I thought they were just the epitome of cool, the way they looked, the way they sounded. It was so great. But when I was finally able to afford an American guitar, I purchased this Fender Telecaster. I found it in a pawn shop, and at the time it was really the only American guitar that I could afford. So I really learned how to play and what to play on that guitar. But my longing for a Gibson Les Paul never really went away. So recently I purchased a Gibson Les Paul traditional all mahogany. I'll put a photo here for you guys to check it out. And I just didn't bond with that guitar. It felt weird, it didn't feel right, and it was more than just the scale length. It was the way the guitar sat on my lap, it was the way the guitar played. I just didn't connect with it. So I thought that my Les Paul days were behind me until I ran across this guitar. So like I said, this is a 2005 Gibson Les Paul Special SL. And these guitars are the best guitars for Fender Telecaster players because of a couple reasons. For one, they are a solid piece of mahogany. So they're not arched like a typical Les Paul. And that really makes a difference when you are playing the guitar. It feels much more like a Telecaster. You feel much more at home when you're playing it because you don't have that arched top that typical Les Pauls have. Another reason that this guitar is great for Telecaster players is the way it sits against you when you're playing. Kind of like what I said, it's a solid piece of mahogany. It doesn't have an arched top. It fits against you and feels like a Telecaster when you're playing it in the sitting position or the standing position. It just kind of feels more at home than your typical Les Pauls would. Now this guitar, like I said, was made in 2005, and in 2005 Gibson was doing some weird stuff, and these Les Paul Specials were really unique because they came without a lacquer. They were sans lacquer, hence the SL. So they made these from 2002 to 2005, and these particular ones are really great for Telecaster players because the majority of the Telecaster players that I run into love their Telecasters beat up. Mine is really beat up. It's a Highway 1 that has no real lacquer on it, so it's been beat up and played Same thing with this guitar. This doesn't really have a lacquer. It's pretty much just the paint job. So you start to get wear from playing, and it really starts to become your own with all the bumps and bruises. Now what's cool about this is you still get the cool Gibson Les Paul sounds with the pickups, the humbuckers, the three-way switch, and the four knobs, but you don't have to deal with the heaviness that a lot of Gibson Les Pauls have and the arch top that they have. Now you're not going to have like the maple cap, but for under $1,000, this is the best Les Paul that you can get, especially if you're a Telecaster player. Okay, thanks for checking out my 2005 Gibson Les Paul Special SL. You guys should check them out. Try to find one in your local area. You can pick them up for a steal, under $1,000, and you got yourself an American-made Gibson Les Paul that sounds great and is going to feel great as well. With all that said, let's talk about what I've been listening to this week. So this week I have been listening to Gabe Lee's The Hometown Kid. This record is phenomenal all the way through. Gabe Lee is a great songwriter. This one really feels much more full and just a great listen. One of my favorite tracks is Lucky Stars and Buffalo Road. Those are two really great tracks, so check them out. Let me know what you think of Gabe Lee's newest record. Leave a comment below on your thoughts about Gabe Lee or the Gibson Les Paul Special SL. And thanks guys, I'll talk to you soon. See ya.